We have new details this morning about the three surfers who were murdered during a trip to Mexico's Baja Peninsula. Mexican authorities say the three suspects are now in custody. They say they intended to steal the victim's truck because they wanted the tires. American Jack Carter Road and Australian brothers Jake and Callum Robinson vanished last weekend during a surfing trip to that area. Their bodies tragically were found in a well, which had been covered up by boards. They were shot to death, and again, the three suspects now in custody. Joining us now from San Diego is Randy Dible. He is a surfing photographer. He knew Callum Robinson and had planned to go on this trip. Why didn't you go?
They called me in for work, so I had to cancel.
That's a lot to process, that you survived and would have been with them. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. By the way, it's Dible, like the Bible.
Dible. My apologies. Yeah. Tell me about this area. You had been there before, Ron, to photograph, to surf. Were you ever concerned about your safety?
Never. My grandfather brought me there as a toddler, and we came there every Thanksgiving with all of our family, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my parents. And throughout the decades, I brought my family there, and I even camped there by myself last May. It's always been a sacred place to our family, and it's always been a real peaceful and tranquil place. Nothing's ever happened there before. And that's why I drew a map to go there, because it was a special place to me, and I thought everything would be fine.
So what do you know about their trip and when they were intercepted by these cartel members?
I don't, what do I know about it? I know that these guys, I don't know if they were cartel members or whatever, but they were probably some thugs. And I know Callum was 6'4", and really he was solid muscle. And those Aussies, they when you're out surfing, they don't take no crap from anybody. And he probably tried to fight back when these guys came to rob him. And that they shot him in the head. They shot all three of them in the head.
Yeah, no, it's senseless. Had you been keeping track of their journey? They'd been posting on social media. When was the last time you spoke to your friend?
Well, what happened was I have a photography booth where I sell my photography, and Callum passed by my booth about a month ago. He saw a picture that he liked, and I found out he's my next door neighbor. So I had the photo made. I brought it to his house. We hung out. And he asked me if I wanted to go on this trip. He said his brother was coming into town, and he said he was going to go to Mexico. Where should I go? I drew him a little map on a napkin, and he goes, "Well, you want to come with us?" I go, "Sure." And then a couple of days later, my work called. I couldn't go. And then fast forward to a few days ago, I read there's a guy's missing. There were some surfers missing. I read in the newspaper, and I looked at the name, Callum Robinson. I know that guy. Oh man, that's the guy that I was supposed to go on a trip with. And then the next day, my friend called me and said, "Callum, they found his body." And wow, man. I mean, then it just hit home. It just blew me away.
Yeah, it's devastating, Randy. Tell me about Callum and his brother and the other gentleman that they were surfing with, about the community.
Oh, well, yeah, we're a pretty tight-knit community down here. And I knew Jack, too. I didn't know him well, but he came by my booth every weekend with his surfboard. He had a real distinct look. He had a mustache and, high-cut hair. And, he would look at my pictures, and I met him once, too. Callum was a great, gregarious guy. He was a lacrosse player from Australia, really in shape, super nice. And, we hit it off when we met. So that's why I wanted to go with him. And, I speak Spanish, so they asked me if I wanted to come. But then, like I said, I had to cancel because of work, and I just forgot about it, And then when I heard they were missing, I put two and two together, and it's just like couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you described the area as safe. You were never concerned, but given what we know now, will you go back?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not. I'm sure it's a random thing. They don't target surfers down there. I mean, it's really uncommon. I've been traveling through Mexico. I started traveling there in the 70s, 80s. I've been to about 20 states. I've been to almost every surf break up and down the coast, all the way. I've been down to the Mayan ruins, up to the volcanoes. I've explored every nook and cranny of Mexico. And I've heard about a few things here and there, but of course that was back in, the 90s, 80s and 90s. Things are changing now. There wasn't any cartels back then. So it's changed. The cartels have really ruined it for a lot of people. And I love Mexico and the Mexican people, and I really feel for them because this is going to put a damper on their tourism.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.